What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's finally Thursday. It's finally time for a live show. It's been a while. Things have been crazy. Crazy. Well, Schmidt. See Joseph, Andrew, Ben, what's going on? What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another Thursday night. Get some people rolling up in here. Hey, Cole. What's new with you guys? What's new? What's new out there? What's new on the internet? What up, Easy Living? My computer's trying to restart itself. Let's go ahead and say no to that. Let's not reboot in the middle of the live stream. Why's my camera pointed away? Yes, there we go. That's better. What up, Timothy? Hail and tornadoes in St. Louis. Yeah, I saw the weather was looking bad out in Central America. Central United States, wherever you want to call it. What up, DZ? Hey, Tommy. Am I going to start Whipple install? No. Listen. I installed one. I videotaped the entire process. If you want to do one, just follow my video. And before you do it, buy an engine bay creeper. Alt F4. Yeah, it's been a while since anybody tried to pull that one on me. Baseball, hell. You just got that small stuff. Let me know whenever you get up to the basketball, bowling ball size stuff. You know, whenever it's hailing in your living room because it's going through the roof and through the ceiling. Yeah, don't go off the directions is right. Man. We'll give it a minute here, but I have got a soapbox moment that's probably bad enough that I'll have to delete this video after we're done. Put up super slow. Because I'm going to go on a rant. It's been a while since I've gone. I'm ready to rant. Oh, I'm so angry. So angry. Just warning you. But I'm in a good mood, but I'm angry. So, here, I'm going to do a poll. Here. So, okay. What was there? Okay, there we go. We got a poll going. I want to say, welcome. Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Why do we tune in? We'll give you guys a minute or two to vote in the poll. Okay. I'm surprised. There's more no's than I thought there'd be, but I'm going to guess that a lot of these are people that don't do Instagram. I don't blame you. I will say I like Instagram better than Facebook. I hate Facebook. What's on the Smoke Monster punch list? Absolutely nothing right now, Tommy. I'll be honest with you. The Smoke Monster is on the back burner. The Chevelle is where it's at. All about the 70 Chevelle. So we're going to probably be starting to swap the LS3 into the Chevelle this weekend if the rain and storms aren't too bad. So, since the Monte Carlo is going away, the Chevelle, we are taking the Chevelle on Rocky Mountain Race Week this year. We're only doing 1.0 right now. I don't think we're going to do 2.0. I don't know yet, but I'm guessing that we're probably not going to do 2.0. We're probably just going to do 1.0 and probably try and hit up LS Fest East and maybe Power Tour. We'll see. Okay, that's enough votes. We end the poll and the results. Where are the results? There they are. So, 18 votes. 1 in 3 people follow HB Tuners on Instagram. Okay. Start rant. So, I reached out to my contact at HB Tuners last week and I said, hey, I'm getting ready to start throwing some Global B content out there, showing these fine folks how to tune on this Global B platform. And the response was, no, you can't do that yet. I said, what do you mean we can't do that yet? Global B is unlocked. Just because the public can't send in their ECUs, get them unlocked, they have to go through a dealer. It is open to the public. You can call any HP Tuners dealer and they're going to take your money and send your ECU in and get it unlocked. So there's nothing stopping you from getting your Global B, your Silverado, your Sierra, your Corvette, whatever, unlocked. No rifles tonight, Danny. Nice try, though. So, okay. No big deal. And then I log on today, Instagram, HP Tuners. It pops up this big message. Oh, now supporting Global B on the Silverado and Sierra. And then I read the stuff down below, and it's just like, oh, yeah, Global B is available on these platforms. Doesn't say anything about being restricted. Doesn't even say anything about having to go to a tuner. I said, what's going on here? How come you guys can post this crap, but I can't share the knowledge of Global B with the good people of the inner world? I just can't do it. I can't do it till the public release. Well, here's a little insight for you. The public release may never happen. I would not hold my breath on a public release right now, because this system is so finicky. I went through it. And I've talked to others who are dealers who have gone through this process, and they say that about 1 out of 10 you plug in and it works right the first time. 1 out of 10. The other 9, you have to deal with support, HP Tuner support, and you have to have these specialty tools for Global B to get on AC Delco Tech Connect. And we're talking, your MDI clones and stuff like that. Nope, won't work. Cheapest alternative to work on Global B is a DrewTech Mongoose cable, and they make one specifically for Global B. It is $600. So factor in the price of that cable, which I own, and it works. Factor in the price of that cable on top of the price of unlocking it just to get it to work. Because even whenever I got to the point where I could communicate with the ECU, I still could not communicate with the ECU, if that makes sense. Global B, kind of that thing. So, ZL1 Chris. The Engage has been dead ever since Lund got sued by the EPA. You can pick them up secondhand. You're going to pay a hefty amount of money for it. Wouldn't hold my breath on that. But I will tell you, the latest beta of HP Tuners does have custom CAN bus messaging. You can pick up a CAN bus gauge and send CAN bus messages from the interface, from your stupid little interface, to a gauge like that. Might have to do something. Okay, Kim, we'll see you later. Thanks for stopping by, as always. Nate Lil, I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to attempt to tune. It's just intimidating. Listen, it is intimidating. I'm going to show you some tricks, tips and tricks and stuff like that, like I always do, specifically for Global B platforms. So, we'll work with your MPVI. Yes, the MPVI 3, you have to have the Pro Link, though. You have to have the Pro Link because you're going to be using the CAN bus leg on the Pro Link. Gen 4 for the win. Gen 5. Well, Gen 4 or Gen 5. Either way. Gen 4, Gen 5. Keep it in that. Keep it in that. Yes. No raffles tonight, people. No raffles tonight. So, okay, that is me getting off my soapbox and complaining. And if you're from HP Tuners and you see this, I don't care. Listen, I really don't care. It's completely asinine. And there needs to be some transparency. SB says, help, why can't I log math at all? I have all the channels. And I followed the tutorial on your YouTube, but still not populating any math. So, first off, make sure that you have the math parameter that reads in hertz, not the one that reads in pounds per hour. It's got to be the one in hertz. And then, what wideband are you using? Because I asked this question, 90% of the people that can't get it to work are trying to do it without a wideband. It does not work. You can't do EQ error or AFR error without a wideband. It just doesn't work. I'll leave it at that. So, what have we missed? Well, the dog that had the emergency last weekend, we went back to the vet. Right before this, in fact. Just got back from the vet. Still touch and go. She's doing all right, but may have a condition. She's 14. We're fingers crossed, all that stuff. Hoping that she gets better. They put her on some new medication. As you well know, the supercharger is on the Super Auto. What up, Bernard? I am tuning it. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't installed my wideband yet. That's actually planned for this weekend. I'm going to install a wideband on that. Yeah, see, SB, I was being lazy too. But maybe this weekend, SB, you install your wideband, and I will install my wideband. We install our widebands together, and we get to tune it. How's that sound? I will not be here next Thursday. By the way, I'm going back to Oklahoma next week for a couple days to visit the old family. No live show next Thursday, but we'll be back. I'm going to have some content coming out this weekend. I've got a couple devices down in the garage I want to shoot videos on that you guys are going to be really interested in. Really, one of them in particular, a guy that watches built his own knock sensor. Not sensor per se, but like gauge. Did his own gauge. It's cool. I'll show it to you. All the stuff that's going on with that. You know, man, if you're gonna go boosted, you just watch the video when it comes out. It was cool. And then the other one I'm going to save, it's a secret specifically for the Chevelle project as we expand out and start adding stuff on that. Listen, man, I go on vacation, ICT car guy. I ain't going to be on the internet. I'm not going to be on the internet. I don't take time off. Wideband, pre or post turbo, doesn't matter, Tom. I'll probably go post turbo. Pre turbo is a little bit hot. It's just got to be pre-cat if you're running a cat. So, yeah, Andrew knows. Andrew knows. So, yeah, that's the plan. I'll be back, next weekend. It's like I'm flying out Wednesday. I'm coming back Sunday. So, we'll get back into it after that. What exactly does the enhanced SD give you on Gen 3s? I wish InTune LS was here. He'd tell you exactly what it is. It might change the resolution. Might make it from a 16 to a 16 by 16 to like a 24 by 24. It gets rid of the secondary VE table, which is kind of a pain because whenever you fail it or whenever you push it into mass airflow only, whenever you fail the math, it reads off the secondary VE table. Not sure why GM ever did that thing. It's good. It is good. So, you just have to choose what bar that you want to run, Timothy. If you're running, and then on top of it, on Gen 3, it gives you real-time tuning. Do I still have day jobs? Yeah, I've got 2 other day jobs. I got my day job, and then I've got my professor job where I go and teach at school 1 day a week still. That was supposed to be 1 semester, and here it is 2.5 years. They keep bringing me back. I keep on sculpting these young minds. And by sculpting, I mean corrupting them. Listen, anybody in here in the chat? Anybody signed up on the ETS Indy class, the Gym 5 Master class? Anybody? Am I going to see anybody in Indianapolis this year? Super excited about it. So installing dual 450 return fuel system. Can't quite get the stock light starting. Any suggestions? I mean, you might have to compensate your cranking VE for fuel pressure if you're running higher fuel pressure on key on, you know, whenever it does the prime. So you just have to play with it. Is it cold starting, or is it warm starting, or all starting? Nate Little says, so I've watched some of your older videos. Why do we multiply by half, and when do we stop multiplying by half? Okay, great question, Nate. Thank you for bringing that to the live show. This is a perfect platform for it. We multiply by half because if we were multiplied by a whole percentage, we would overshoot and we would end up chasing it. So we've got our error, you know, okay, so here's our goal, here's our error. And by multiplying by half, you know, we're inching closer. And every time we're making smaller steps and getting closer. Whereas if we multiply by a percentage, if some of the data's off, you're going to overshoot it, stuff like that. So, and when do we stop? It's kind of subjective. I like to bring my stuff down below 5%. And then I like, say, we're looking at the math chart. I like 0 to 5% rich across the spectrum. Closed loop A is going to help out to keep it spot on after that. And then whenever we go into power enrichment and stuff like that, we're going in on the rich side of it as opposed to the lean side of it. You're never going to see an error graph that is just zeros across the board. Never going to happen. So we just kind of figure out what works. Some cars will get closer than others. If you find yourself going back and forth a couple times, you probably reached the limitations of what you can actually do on that one, and just deal with it. Timothy, go and see you in Indy. Sweet. I hope you use my code, save some money on that. So my LS3 Camaro is getting Pro Charged. I tell you what, after doing the whip, I will only do Pro Chargers from now on. I'm thinking of swapping those dual intake manifolds. Oh. Dude, it does look cool. SBI is actually talking about that for my LS3 today. Here's the thing. If you're drive-by-wire, it gets a little bit complicated, and you have to be drive-by-wire. Basically, they don't make a drive-by cable adapter to open both throttle bodies at the same time. It's a mess. And I'll be honest with you, they're a pain in the butt to tune. I would probably... They do look super cool. I'd probably pass, though. Any videos doing real-time tuning? No. I've never gotten around to doing videos on real-time tuning, because every time I do a Gen 3, I end up just skipping over it. Whoa, Hillary. Yeah, it's a mess. No check valve. Installed check valve from improved racing, drastically improved things, but the regulator bleeds off quickly. Cold start is acceptable, but hot start seems to be a little on vapor lock issue. If I key on and off the flush line, it'll start hot. That's interesting. That's a new one. So are you sure it's a vapor lock issue and not a lack of fuel pressure on the hot start? Since whenever you're hot starting, you're using less, and so the demand is less. Life is going. It's good to see you back in here. Welcome back. Welcome back. And then you can always play with the FA multiplier tables under fuel, which are temperature-based cranking tables, just to address the warmer temperatures, bump it up and down, try that. But if you're having fuel pressure problems, obviously a tune is not going to solve it. It's just one of those things. Yo, rebuilt my valve body with Sonex parts. Had to replace the pressure switches. Also, replaced my radiator fans and fuse box due to a melted fan relay slot. Well, and you did all that, Bernard? Because that sounds like a lot of work. HP Tuner said the new Core ECU has a capability for dual mouse, though. Maybe later down the road, maybe it'll be easier. Well, if you're doing a standalone, a lot of standalones will run 2 throttle bodies. So that's a different situation. You can, on standalones, you can have 1 pedal input and 2 throttle body outputs without having to go into the, that jazz. So, and then we'll see if I ever get my hands on a Core. The Core is out. I don't know if I can tell you that. The Core is in people's hands, just not mine yet. So, I think the North America guy that deals with dealers doesn't like me or something. I don't know. Was going to go to and going Bowling Green. Oh, man. Okay, listen, I'm not technically supposed to take a dump on the tuning school, but you'll be glad that you did not. Your money was way better spent with Elite. So, we'll just leave it at that. Fuel gauge shows as requested 50.5. That's 48 to 50 is that good range. Cold start works completely fine. Hot start, I have to push pedal to the floor to start it. Pretty sure my injectors are leaking, causing flooding. Not necessarily, Kendall. As I said, what are you on, Kendall? Give me. We gotta look at a tune. I gotta pull one up on the Tunifier over here, so we can see what I'm talking about. Where to find the Chevelle? I bought it out of Detroit from a classic car dealer up there. Listen, man, worst case, I'll tell you what. I said, if I don't have one by this date, it's probably going to get a haul tech. So I have a cutoff date where this has to be done. I am in no means inclined to have to run a Core on this thing. I want to see what this unit can do. I want to explore it. I want to share that information with you. But I have other requirements that I have to meet. It is what it is. Hey, man, the thing about the School of Hard Knocks, Nate, is that you will not forget what you learned from that school. It did before the camp swap. Did it when it was stock? Okay, if it did when it was stock, you're probably right that you have something going on with the injectors, Kendall. Speaking of tune school, I was given the opportunity to retune a Hennessy Pro Car Challenger from 2010. Man, it was so underpowered. I was thinking of applying for that school in Texas too. Oh, Hennessy's school? I don't know anything about it. Are you talking about Hennessy school? I know, don't they put on a school, or is it Lincolnfeld that does? Hennessy Tuner School, 14-week curriculum. I would... Oh, Mike is in person tuning it tomorrow. Hey, you'll be fine then. Evo. Hey, go back and watch this before you logged on. But yes, I will talk about this in a second. I would consider looking at Elite Tuned is, and I'm not just a shill. I'm not just a client of the Hair Club for Men or a president. I'm a client too. What did they used to say? Who's old enough to remember the Hair Club for Men? They have a really interesting school setup that is not the master class. It's more of a master tuning thing that is multiple weeks at a college. and they're setting up other colleges. I think, well, I shouldn't talk about what they're working on, but they've got the one in Ohio right now, UNOH, but there's others that are probably coming on board soon. And it is multiple weeks. You do 2 weeks of in-person classrooms teaching. It's like 6 hours a day, 6 or 8 hours a day. It's a long day. And then there is a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, I'm not just the CEO. I'm a client. I remember those. Okay, start tuning on 2020 Neural Network ECU. Yes. And the HPT neural network works as claimed. I don't know yet. I have not seen the revert to stock yet. So, but I've not dug into it deep enough to say one way or the other. And can we tune math only like older ECUs are not recommended? Yes. That comes with a caveat. You can tune math only. It is possible. I know it's possible. I just don't know how. And I'll be honest with you. I know some of the people that know how, and I've told them specifically, don't tell me how. Because it's kind of a secret sauce thing. The global BECU is still in that bubble of like, who's going to be good at this? Who's going to be bad? I'm going to break out a lot of the information on this thing so people like us can tune on these things, and we're going to figure it out. Come hell or high water, we're going to figure out how we can effectively street tune these global BECUs. So stick around. It's going to be coming soon. Oh, man. You know what, SB? Send me the file. I don't know if I want to make a video on it, though. I don't know if Hennessy's somebody that I want to tick off. You know, some people take that stuff really serious, but I will take a look at it. Take a look at anything. You don't have to stick your head up your butcher's ass to see if it's a nice steak, am I right? I have an issue where my Spark Advanced swings 10 to 15 degrees constantly during idle. That's normal. And light load cruising, that's normal. Can reduce it some by decreasing minimum idle airflow. But going too low, it struggles to run on a 2013 LS3. So, here's the thing. Even on Gen 4 and Gen 3, you still have, well, drive-by-wire. Let's say drive-by-wire, drive-by-cable platforms are different. Still have fast and slow. So high speed is going to be Spark. Low speed, slow, is going to be airflow. And so and this is really important on 5th gens and what I'm calling the 6th gen, aka the Global B, because I'm tired of saying Global B. The 6th gen, even though they're technically still 5th gens, just different ECU. Nonetheless, it's really important on those. High speed and low speed, fast, slow, predictive, and immediate. Immediate being Spark. So if you're seeing a lot of Spark swinging, your airflow's off. And Spark is trying to correct for it. So what is probably happening? Decreasing minimum idle airflow, going too low, it struggles to run. Yeah, because you're getting it so low that the Spark is having to go max that it can go to control idle. You need to dial in your volumetric efficiency table a little bit better. Then once you get it dialed in, your minimum idle airflow at idle, say if you're set at 800, should match your actual dynamic airflow at that. If you are flowing 80 pounds per hour of air, that's what your minimum idle airflow table should be at that temperature, at that RPM. And so if it's essentially what happens is we come off at throttle and we're looking at the medium idle airflow table as we're coming down, and the ECU says, hey, we're getting ready to hit idle. There's no pedal. RPMs are coming down. This is going to be my target. I'm going to target 80 pounds per hour of airflow. And so It brings it down, closes the throttle, backs the spark down until it hits 800. And then ideally, nothing has to change. But VE table's off, the throttle starts doing stuff like this, and whenever the throttle starts doing this, this starts happening on the timing, and it just oscillates out of control. That's what's going on. Okay. No, I do not have any Grey Poupon. And rest in peace, Chris Farley. Chris Farley is the man. Haven't tuned Gen 4 before, mainly just Gen 3 guide down to only a bunch in LS swaps yet. Is there some code that would help prevent the engine to start in Gen 4? I clear codes and it works. How many codes do you have? I'm trying to have a buddy grab the codes he's clearing to get his truck to start. Is this a swap, or is this ECU and engine combination the one that was in the truck to begin with? There's so many things that this could be, Kendall. Listen, everybody, it's 8:31. We're going to go ahead and start wrapping it up. I'll answer one or two more questions here. Remember, next Thursday, we will not have a live show because I'll be on, not really vacation, I will be visiting family. And come see me in Indianapolis. Come take that Gen 5 Masterclass if you're doing any kind of Gen 5 tuning. And then keep your fingers crossed. One of these days, I'll be able to post some Global B content. Not swap, everything original, built motor basically. Just never seen it outside of that's on Gen 3. Well, and see, that's the thing, Kendall, is there is like starter diagnostics and stuff like that that could be causing the issue. But that generally only happens on swaps. You have to look at the codes. I don't even think a reduced engine power code would keep it from technically starting. But I mean, if you got a P0106 or something like a P0210, that might do it. Going to visit Spring. Hey man, it was 76 here today. ICT. What would cause my LS swap Silverado to run excellent in open loop, but not so great in closed loop? Playing field. You got long tube headers? I get 3 and 4 cylinder misfiles at idle. But as soon as I hit the throttle 0, slightly confusing, not too concerning. Like, how many are you getting, Chris? Like, a couple counts here and there is nothing. Don't even worry about it. I don't really worry about misfires until I can feel them or the check engine lights flashing. What would high RPM exhaust leak show up in the air graphs as lean? B. Up in the VE air graphs as lean. Can't get my 100 lap to populate same info per log. Timothy, some of that can also be transients just messing with it. I would think generally if you're getting lean, you can get to an RPM where it's not going to be as lean because you got enough exhaust flow. But below that point, you would still be having issues. So you would be having false leans below 3,600, I think. But, I mean, it's so hard to tell. When in doubt, jam a shop vac in the exhaust with some rags and spray down your bung with soapy water and see if it bubbles. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Well, is it carrying a coconut? Stock exhaust. I mean, it sounds plain field like, have multiple random misfires. Listen, as I said, multiple random misfires isn't a big ordeal. But if you're seeing the check engine light flash, it's enough that's causing other issues. Timing. Bounce off the NOx sensors and back it off a bit. Yeah, that's kind of what I do. Just make sure that the NOx sensors aren't like stupid, like desensitized, because the last thing I want you to do is be out there throwing, 36 degrees at this thing. No, this is literally water. I'm drinking water. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. If you can't feel it, as I said, don't get caught up on misfires. Especially like Chris, you probably need to do a crank relearn anyways. So it's some misfire counts. You got to remember that misfires are calculated off of RPMs. It's got an area where it's expecting something to happen at a certain amount of degrees, and sometimes it's just not good at calculating those things. So if it's not giving you issues, like the other day whenever I drove the Chevelle home and it was misfiring and I could barely get it up the driveway, I drove it to the tag office to pick up my antique plate, and I drove it back, and whenever I got back, 3 plug wires had fallen off of the spark plugs. Yeah, it's time to change the plug wires. Yes, James asks, is it possible to have knock but still be too advanced as to diminish power? Probably not going to diminish power, but you have a maximum brake torque, MBT as they call it, which is the maximum timing that you're developing torque on a vehicle. And once you exceed that, you're not making anything. You will go too far and start having other issues though. So don't go crazy. Burst knock listen, burst knock on nothing, Andrew. I turn burst knock off on everything. I don't believe in burst knock. Burst knock is just the anticipation of knock. Things tuned right. Won't even matter. Do you think it's a dumb idea to turn my ProCharger Camaro into a drift car? I mean, it might break something or blow something up, right? Yeah, no, it's not a might. It will do those two things eventually, SB. Thanks, Timothy. Okay, we're Cam's misfire. Listen, there's chain slop in the timing system. So, yeah, listen, I've slowed down on school nights. I don't drink as much on school nights ever anymore. Yeah, a lot of the times playing field, if you notice a difference in open and closed loop, your sensors are probably going bad if it is on a stock vehicle. I'd replace the front O2 sensors. Whenever I see this, it's usually because somebody's running long tubes on there and they are in a different spot in the exhaust. And so the control loop is not calculating as well. But okay, we're wrapping it up. You guys know the drill. Remember, no live next Thursday. There will be some videos coming out over the next couple days. I'm going to try and do at least 3, maybe 4 this weekend. Thanks for stopping by the garage, ABT. Always be tuning.